I think the toughest thing to explain today, at least I found when I need to teach this, is how the founders thought about the role of women in society. In part because feminism has so completely overturned how we think about gender roles, as we call them. On the surface, it's shocking. Generally speaking, I mean, with the exception of New Jersey, very briefly, women did not vote at the time of the founding. And as you point out, no one made a big stink about this. I mean, women were not clamoring for the right to vote. There are no prominent women founders. There were no women at the Constitutional Convention. This really vexes our modern sensibilities. I don't want to ask you to defend necessarily their view, but I mean, what's the best argument one could make of how they justified the sexual roles in society between men and women, and what they thought of as the role for women? And I guess, why was it not patriarchal and oppressive, however much it may not suit our sensibilities and we may not want it?
Well, you're asking a couple questions.
Yeah.
We'll probably have to go back to one of them later, but I'll say something about the main question of different roles. The founders believed that, on the basis of their observation, that men and women are in some ways different, in some ways similar. Okay, everybody can see this. But they also thought that the characteristic differences of the sexes made it appropriate in almost every case, not all, for different roles to be adopted within marriage. And because women have such a prominent and time-consuming role in the early stages of childbearing and child care, women were thought to be the person within the marriage who should be primarily responsible for care of the home and the home front. The men, because of their characteristic difference, their ambition, their skill with their physical strength, their skill with the kinds of mechanical things that have to be dealt with in the world, they were thought to be more appropriate for the external provider role. And what one always has to add for today is, of course, not in every case. All right, there are many women who could do this and many men who couldn't. Okay, fine. The general idea was laws and customs should be built not on the basis of the exceptional case, but on the basis of the usual case. And this means that most women or most men are going to be happier and actually more effective at their role if they're doing a role that's closer to their natural inclination to start with.